We're with Bellevue West head coach Mike Huffman. Coach, you just finished your 8th year at Bellevue West. You guys are right there again. Obviously, I think everyone had the same feeling. You were a team that could have won it all. Things just didn't go your way. But talk about the year you had and how hungry this group is to finish the job next year.
You know, things didn't finish how we thought they were going to play out. But as you know, any night that you play, anything can happen. And it's also a great learning lesson for our football program. There were multiple times throughout the season where I said, you know, some of you guys are living off what kids have done in the past. And, of course, they think I'm the crazy old guy, you know, what's he talking about? And then it did. It came back and got you. And, you know, I was talking to Helms in the lobby just today, and he goes, Coach, I don't even know how to say this, but I think that was good for us. And it has been. The kids have attacked the offseason. We've had our best offseason programs that we ever, attendance-wise. It's always been really good. I'm not saying it hasn't been, but it's been the best it's ever been. The kids are hungry. As you saw today, we have most of our team back. It's going to be tough to replace a guy like Jack McDonald, you know, the silent assassin on defense. Keegan Johnson was a special player. Like, one of the questions that you asked on the questionnaire was who's the best player you've seen. Keegan Johnson, I think if he would have had a full season, would have shattered every record that Nebraska had at receiver. Had 1,000 yards in 7 games. But we've got just about everybody else back, and they are hungry to get Bellevue West back where they're supposed to be.
Well, yeah, let's start on those tight ends, because I don't know if there is another team in America with 2 Power 5 level tight ends like Bellevue West. Micah Riley is 2 different kind of tight ends.
Yes.
Micah Riley is regarded as one of the 10 best in the country right now. What does he bring to the table, and why is he getting this kind of attention?
You know, Sean, you're spot on when I'm talking to these college coaches, which has been so neat. I'm kind of mad at the Rona because, man, we would have been able to meet a lot of really cool dudes from across the country. But they're like, I can't believe you have these 2 guys on the same roster. Luckily for us, they are a little bit different. Micah Riley is your true inline guy, meaning he is going to line up next to the tackle. He's going to put his hand in the dirt. I know it's artificial turf, but we call it the dirt. And he's going to try to knock you out. He's actually a little bit too nasty at times. We've had to throttle him down. He's a former wrestler, and he's also a discus thrower. So he likes to get in there and start wrenching on people and throw them around. But you can't do that in football. He got tagged for quite a few holding penalties. He plays the game to the line. You know, we always test that water, just don't jump in. Micah tends to jump in every once in a while, so we got to clean up those penalties. But he is nasty. But what he also adds unbelievable body control to that. When he's running our RPO game, when he's running our quick out stuff, he understands, and it's all the basketball that he's played, you know, getting himself in between the defender and the ball, and he is such a beautiful target. He's all a 6'6". He's about 235 right now, and still moves so well. We're really excited to piece him in there. I've had to learn over the last year and a half how to really get the ball to tight ends, because all I'd really had before was Malcolm Lee, and Malcolm Lee was a DN that we'd bring over on offense and throw a couple, you know, inside things too. But now I've really had to evolve, which has been fun. Because as you get going in coaching, you always want to be a lifelong learner, and both Micah and Caden Helms have made me one of those.
You're probably watching a lot more Chiefs games.
Oh, well, you know, it's a funny story, and probably not time for this, but my son 3 years ago, he was a kindergartner at the time, he picked the Chiefs as his team. And, oh, my goodness, they have been fun to watch. They're a little shovel down there. We've always done that. We've done it to running back. So I'm sure we're going to see that out of Bellevue West. But, you know, having a kid like Micah and then Caden Helms, who is more of your, you know, he's probably more of your Travis Kelce. He's going to line up in the slot. He's going to be the backside of 3-by-1. He's going to use his unbelievable size to create total mismatches in the high school level. We're doing a bunch of miles per hour runs that you're seeing across the country, and you know, Daevonn, HOL, Caden Helms, and Micah Riley, Les Richardson are all at above 21 miles per hour, and we just started 2 weeks ago. These dudes can flat out run, and with Helms being 6'5 and a half, 220, that's cooking for a big dude. You know, some of these college coaches even say, we're not even sure if he's a tight end, he might be a receiver. I say he's a flex guy that can do it all.
And you look at the teams that have offered, I mean, the big names have all come in on both these guys. I mean, do you get the sense there's even some bigger teams like the Clemsons, the Alabamas, the Ohio States, the higher grade of college football?
Yep.
Do you think that they could be coming in next?
You know, it's funny you say that, because when Oklahoma offered Caden, I'm like, okay, here we go, because that is something that we have thought about. Not that it matters. They have wonderful, wonderful choices. But we have talked about Alabama and Clemson. I've actually reached out to Clemson 3 times. Most everybody knows that I love Clemson. But for whatever reason, I haven't got any response. They do get mail from them, but as these kids learn quickly, mail means nothing. It's all about true contact. And honestly, text messages don't mean anything, because these big schools have rooms full of people that are shooting out text messages saying they're somebody. It's the phone calls, it's the Zooms. Will they come? I don't know, maybe. I think maybe if these coaches should come visit and actually see what those 2 human beings look like. I mean, if Micah Riley and Caden Helms don't make you turn your head when they walk in the room, then you haven't been in this business. You guys have been all the way across the country. You guys do the national things. Those dudes look like national dudes. They're not like, Bellevue has a national. No, they are national dudes. So we'll see. I heard just this week they're probably going to extend it till May. I mean, so that's going to do nothing but hurt. These guys have to make their choices because what I've been told, because of the transfer portal, these colleges aren't offering as many kids as they used to. So if you've got an opportunity at a school that you like and you've been there and you like the campus, you like the academics, you like the vibe, you better commit to it so you don't lose your spot.
And then at running back, a guy that's yet to get those early offers but has the potential is LJ Richardson. How do you get him to kind of get that next step of recruiting going for him?
Les is all about what he's going to do in track. And right, wrong, or indifferent, that's the world of a skill kid, because he is a big back, and he's the first big back that we've had. Everybody thinks that Jalen was a big back, but he was only 185 pounds. Les, I think, weighed in at 205 today, was 6'1". He shows good speed on film, but as we know we have good football around here, but these other people, they still question. I've been told by multiple schools at the Power 5 level they want to see his track times. One school even said if he runs sub-11, 3 electric, and jumps over 21, he's their guy. Hopefully those schools follow through with saying that. We'll find out. But the kid can play. He's big. He's just got to get some more concrete evidence, with the old stopwatch at track. I guess it's lasers now, and then it'll all turn around for him.
Daevonn Hall, I think maybe got one of the earliest offers we've ever seen for a freshman in the state of Nebraska from Iowa. Then Nebraska came in. Yep. Are those his only two right now?
K-State's real close. I mean, they've been hitting it up too. And it's, not to be arrogant, but that's because Bellevue West has put out a ton of really good receivers. And when I was talking to Iowa's Coach Kelvin Copeland, he point blank, how does he compare to the rest of your guys? Well, as a freshman, he's better than all of them. Now, will he continue? Will he continue to evolve? Will he hammer the weight room? Will he continue to get faster? Will his hands improve? Those will all determine where he ends up on our, Parthenon of great receivers. But as a ninth grader, he was special. He shows some clips in film that are just unbelievable. He does it in practice. He's got to get more consistent on a Friday night. He's got to be the guy that we can go to now. Because when people took away Keegan, we need those guys. And that's the only bad thing about your other studs being tight ends. Those guys usually can't stretch the field. Now, Helms can. He's a guy that I might keep back on the backside. Whichever guy is more explosive and can make a better play on a deep ball, he'll play the backside of 3x1, whether it be Hall or whether it be Helms. But it's a pretty rough problem for us to have.
That tradition you guys have had, I mean, people always say, this team recruits, that team recruits. Well, your tradition seems to be what recruits for you guys.
Those kids want to come and play in the offense, and say what you will, but we actually throw the ball. I've been there for 8 seasons now. We've thrown for 3,000 yards, 6 of those 8 seasons. One of them was 2,900, and the other one was 2,700 yards when we had Bradley's senior year. Well, I'm sorry, we ran for over 4,000 that year. Right? So, and we talk about those things. When people reach out to us and they want to know about what Bellevue West is about, we're going to throw the ball half the time. And luckily right now we have kids that want to be part of that. It does seem to be like more kids are coming and they want to be a part of it. We do play most of our players one way, so if it doesn't work out at receiver, go play DB. Go earn an opportunity there. We want to play as many kids as we possibly can.
And then on the line, though, you've got one of the top Class A lineman prospects in Henry Rickels, probably a guard at the next level. He's got some early offers.
Yep.
Describe his ability.
Henry is almost 6'4". He's just a shade under that, but he weighs, I think on yours he was 290 yards. He's usually in the low 280s. But the thing that Henry does, he was a basketball player up till this year. He ate his way out of playing basketball for Coach Woodard, right? But we pull so much. He gets out in space and he runs well. I refer to these miles per hour. He's running over 19 miles an hour. For instance, K-State just tweeted whoever they got, the big North Dakota kid, that's going to be enrolling next fall. They were pumped because he broke 18 miles an hour. Well, Henry, as a junior, is running over 19. So this kid can get out and run. He's another kid, I think, if colleges were able to get in and see him and stand next to him, they would pull the trigger. I know Nebraska likes him a lot. They've been in contact. Iowa State likes him. Iowa's messaged me a little bit, but they've kind of been a little bit slow on that one. But it's also early, and those guys have to be able to see people. Hopefully the kids can go to these camps this summer so they can be seen.
And then Luke, quarterback for you guys at 6'2", 190. He's going to have some pretty good targets to throw to.
Yep.
What do you like about Luke?
The thing I liked about Luke is he played so well last year without an offseason. I learned a real valuable lesson as a coach. So we spent the entire spring doing Zooms. I did an hour with the receivers on a Thursday. I did an hour with the quarterbacks on Friday. And here I'm thinking, man, this is genius. We're breaking everything down. We finally get to June where we can throw it all. They didn't remember anything. So he didn't get an off season. Then the state limited what we could do in the summer. So he really didn't get any true Bellevue West football until August. And he still threw for, 18 or 1,700 yards, whatever it was, 27 touchdowns. He only threw 3 interceptions. I mean, to have that without an off season, throws a beautiful deep ball. Now he's going to get pushed though. We've got a young buck named Danny Kalen that's going to give him all he wants and then some. So another ridiculous, terrible problem for Bellevue West. Which one of these 2 studs do we want to go out there and sling the ball around? It's going to be a great competition.
Yeah, a brief quote on Danny, if you don't mind. Won't be your varsity. I mean, he'll push for that job, but I mean, pretty good backup to have on your roster.
And who knows? I mean, honestly, it'll be wide open. And I tell the kids all the time, whoever's going to earn is going to play, and they got to keep it going. Luke started this year because he had the strongest arm. Because man, our receivers were so doggone fast. You got to be able to check it. Because when you underthrow a deep ball, I know the NFL does it a lot. They practice the back shoulder stuff. But in high school, we don't have time to do that, nor the ability. So you got to be able to throw that thing. And if your receivers are slowing down to catch it, that gives the DBs the advantage. So Luke won that. But just a little bit we've thrown this winter. A couple weeks ago, before it was the frozen tundra of Omaha, Nebraska, we got outside and throw, and these guys are already leaps and bounds above where they were at the previous season. He'll push. Danny is very intelligent. When we're breaking down film with the quarterbacks, I mean, the stuff this kid sees as a 15-year-old is unbelievable. He'll push. I'll be surprised if at the beginning of the season we're not sharing reps to see who ends up getting the job.
And then Gio, another receiver that's going to probably benefit off the guys around him, especially. I mean, what's his outlook?
Gio actually started last season as our running back. He started the Bellevue East game, ran for over 100 yards, started the Millard South game, but unfortunately had an injury in his leg. He had a broken bone in his femur. And then the evolution of Les Richardson has been nothing short of unbelievable. So Gio is going to kind of be your jack of all trades. He's kind of like our Wandale. He's going to be able to play the running back. He's going to play receiver. And actually, Sean, where I think he's going to end up as a junior is at free safety because the kid is talented. He has unbelievable ball skills. Like some of the catches this kid makes, like, did that really just happen? But he's another guy that has had the luxury of working with Keith Williams. Keith Williams, congrats, coach. He got the Baltimore Ravens gig, but he's going to be missed around here because he loves working with young kids. And you wouldn't know if he was working with Cheetah with the Chiefs or Adams with the Green Bay or working with Gio from Bellevue West. He is unbelievable with these kids, and we're going to miss him.
And then lastly, on your lines, you're going to be anchored by a really big body. He came in at 306 today. Caden, what do you like about your senior-to-be lineman, Caden Camise?
He's just so doggone big. He plays that defensive tackle. We have a hard time blocking him in our program because we practice quite a bit of good on good. And you have to use 2 guys. If you don't use 2 kids on Caden, he's going to beat you. Now, one thing I wanted him to take the next step, though. Yeah, you're doing a good job because he's a very intelligent human being. Yeah, I'm taking on 2 blockers. Now, you know what? Now split them and go get a tackle for loss. Let's go be like Sue. Right? Let's go be that guy because at the high school level, he should be able to be that way because he is quick, he is strong, and as you saw today, he is big. So he should be causing a lot of problems for people.
Well, Coach, I think we're going to be at a lot of Bellevue West games this
I hope
year.
so, man. I know when you guys are there, it means it's a big game.
Well, thanks for coming out today, and congratulations again on the year you guys had last year.
Thank you.
All right.